Okay, so welcome back to the podcast. Today we're gonna the last session we did, we were talking about the difference between employed and self-employed, and Dom was asking questions about me, my career, and so maybe today we just talk about Dom. So Dom is employed. So today we're gonna talk about everything you want to know about being employed. Uh, okay, so Dom, maybe you can just share a bit about what you do, like where you work at and stuff like that.
Okay, I start right from the beginning. So, right out of school, got my diploma. I went to work first, worked for a family business, a local business, a food processing company. I stayed there for 4+ years.
Which company?
Seng Wang. So basically, Camel Peanuts.
Camel. So you work at Camel.
It's a homegrown brand. I guess a lot of people will know. And then worked there for 4 or 5 years, and then decided to try starting something on my own. So how I did it was back then Carousel, Shopee wasn't really so it wasn't even existent, I think. And the only place you could online shop at was G Market back then.
G Market? No, I don't know G Market.
I think it's the current days Q10.
I only know Q10.
Yeah. So before that, I think they were G Market. So everything else, when you wanted to buy, you had to go to forums. You remember those days? When you want to buy and sell watches, it was always a forum.
Oh yeah, I remember.
You buy anything,
SG Watch something.
Yeah, something like that.
SG Watch.
You had to buy like stuff for motorbikes. We had to go to Singapore Bikes, right? So I just started out selling there, and then things were looking good. And then after a while, I just decided to jump both feet in. And then how I started out was those little box shops.
Yeah.
I think you're familiar. You came to my shop a few times. So I started renting a little box there, and then started selling my stuff there. And it was actually quite lucrative. Every month could make $800-900 just from that one little tiny shop.
So you rent the box from the owner, and then that one box got you $800-900 a month.
Yes.
Wow.
The rental was, if I'm not wrong, 220.
No, wait. 800 is net or gross?
Sometimes gross, sometimes it depends lah, right? Like for Christmas months, or festive months, it will usually be a lot more.
Wait. What is crazy leh? So every box gives you $800.
Yeah.
Well, but what is the amount of work that you need to put in to get that
Every
money?
3 days, go down, top up the stock.
That's quite a lot of work, isn't it?
Okay lah. I mean, considering the fact that the risk is very low and you want to try something, you want to prove your a bit of like proof of concept, right? Just go ahead or do it, and then it was not too far off. The first place I rented was at Serangoon next downstairs. The basement.
Yeah, I know
it's
that
called Toy Outpost.
Yeah.
So things took off, and then back then my current wife, who was back then my girlfriend, was my colleague actually at Seng Wang at Camel.
Oh, so you hit on your colleague?
Something like that.
Aiyo, hit on your colleague.
Yeah, and then I think she wanted to look for a new job or something. Then so I just encouraged her, like, why don't you try whatever I'm doing? So she tried.
What do you mean? As in,
so when you went to rent.
When you told her to try, you were hitting on her?
No lah, already together lah.
Already together.
Yeah, so I just asked her to, hey, why not give it a shot? I know I'm earning a little bit of side income this way. So she tried. So each of us took one little box. And then things also kind of took off for her. After a few months.
What were you selling?
Okay. I was selling mixture of stuff. Like at first it was purely, the motorbike accessories,
okay, then what was
gloves, stuff like that. And then she was selling all the female accessories, like earrings, bracelets, things like that.
Okay.
So so things took off, and then after about 8 months, 9 months, she already decided to resign, and I decided to just dive right into it.
So you all resigned together?
Well, I stayed on for half a year, 1 year.
Then why
more.
she resigned first?
I think she was sick of working in the same company. She was working there for quite a while, a few years.
Oh, okay.
So just started that way. So when you see this kind of results and things are so smooth, considering that it's your first endeavor, you kind of get the balls to just dive into what can go wrong, right? So
Anything can go wrong.
But-
Murphy said so.
Murphy said so, but Murphy didn't visit us,
Mm.
right? And also the fact that you're young and ambitious and you think you know it all.
Mm.
So we just tried lor.
Mm.
And then I made my intentions clear to my then lady boss.
Mm.
And she was very supportive. So she also felt that I had some potential to maybe try out starting something of my own. So
Aiyo.
she actually
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
What was that?
no I didn't.
Okay.
So she actually supported me and she actually gave me sort of like my first opportunity.
Mm.
So I started my first actual business endeavor.
How did she give you? You already found the box on your own one.
Yeah, no, but because she knew that now I wanted to try something, try to start my own business or something like that. So back then I had a little bit to do with selling peanuts, selling snacks and stuff like that. So I was quite well versed in that.
Peanuts?
Peanut snacks, generally, festive foods.
Mm.
So she decided to support me in a way by she asked me to try starting a food kiosk
Mm.
because I think one of the
Is
relatives.
this before or after the box?
I actually did it concurrently.
Wow, so you had two business.
Right, but I started one first.
You started box first.
I started the box one as a sideline first, and it remained that way. So I started the food kiosk first. Right.
You had a kiosk?
Yeah, I had a
I
food
didn't know
kiosk
you have a kiosk.
at Bedok Point 1 and then at Jurong IMM.
Oh, okay.
So I had two.
Okay.
So how she supported me was that
She give you the nuts at the
she-
cost price.
that's number one, and also that she allowed me to owe her. She gave me a long credit term for whatever stock that I bought,
Okay.
which is unheard of lah. I mean, when you're a
Okay.
startup, when you
Okay.
just start something new, usually it's just cash on delivery.
Okay.
So that was a great help.
Okay.
And the initial. There's one point in time I think I was I owed her up to $40,000-$50,000 just purely of peanuts.
That's ridiculous amount.
Yeah, you think it's ridiculous, but $40,000-$50,000 worth of peanuts is actually not a lot.
Huh?
Yeah, the cost price is very high.
Of peanuts?
There's some-
$40,000 of peanuts is not a lot.
Depends on what kind of nuts lah. There are expensive nuts, there are
Okay.
cheap ones.
Okay.
So yeah, at one point in time, I was ordering close to about 40-50K a month,
Of peanuts?
Yeah. and she allowed me to order for like months.
Oh, wow.
So again, that gave me a bit of false confidence.
Mm.
So
Why false?
because I didn't know what it was like to have
People chasing you for money.
exactly. And,
So that's not the reality.
That's not the real, the real situation that most people start out with.
Interesting.
Right? So of course things were okay. The Bedok outlet was doing fine,
And then?
and so few months into that, I decided to also start out the retail business. So what I did was I actually emulated exactly what the person that was renting from was doing. So I rented a shop. In fact, in the same mall.
So you
at level
became
4.
competitor.
Exactly, I became
So
a competitor.
you beat the hand who fed you.
But they were I didn't know the owner. I didn't know any of them.
Okay.
It was just I was renting from there. I realized that hey, actually this might work out. So I rented, came across a shop at level 4 of the same mall. Yes, next. Right, so the human traffic was high.
I remember it was beside the budget shop, right?
Yeah, the
value
value dollar shop.
shop.
Yeah. So how I started out was again very lucky. All I had was my car and my bike.
Uh-huh. Why is that lucky?
I sold my car and my bike. I had about 30 plus grand. And then I borrowed I think 30 grand, something like that from my mom.
How young were you?
I was 24.
Well, very young.
Yeah. So I sold everything. Went to start this business, and after the nuts one was somewhat, I felt no more stable. Then I just dived into the second one. And then after I started, again, very lucky. But the contractors that did the renovation for my first shop, somehow I didn't know him beforehand. He allowed me to owe him for 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
It's like 80 grand or something like that.
Wow.
I didn't even know him, right?
Okay.
So I just paid a certain amount of deposit and then just paid him up every month.
Mm.
So yeah, so that's how it all started. Of course, along the way, met a few setbacks.
Mm.
My shop at IMM didn't do well, lost quite a lot of money.
Mm.
But thankfully, the shop at Next was earning me quite a lot
What
of money.
caused it to not do well?
I think didn't really choose the, you know, right location. You know, it is in the retail business is very interesting.
It's human traffic, right?
The human traffic, yes, the human foot flow
The way they
is
walk
actually
around the mall.
very interesting. The shop right beside me, just next to me,
Ah,
actually doing very well.
okay. So it's the characteristic of the people walking there don't
Correct.
walk into your shop.
Correct. And the
Ah.
neighbors, the neighboring tenants actually play a part
Okay.
because they are very well known.
Okay.
So
Next was good because Value Dollar Store is iconic.
well, I think it's a mixture of things.
Mm.
One is because it was right at the, you know, when you come up from the escalator at the landing, my shop was right there in your face.
I remember.
Right, and it was very bright,
Mm.
you know, very, the footfall was okay, not bad. And also the things that we sell are, you know, constantly changing. You know, we always change what we sell.
It's a novelty.
Yeah, and it's a more fun, exciting sort of younger sort of demographic.
Mm.
Whereas for the nuts and the, you know, healthy snacks and stuff like that, quite a niche market.
Mm.
Prices are high also compared to snacks. Snacks in general, we are very expensive. So, well, it
As
didn't
in
do well.
nuts is in general is a more expensive form of snack
Yes, it is
as
very
compared
expensive.
to potato chips and
Yes,
ah
easily triple, quadruple the price.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's healthy also, right?
Well,
Is it?
it's deemed as a healthy snack.
Okay,
And of
wait,
course,
because you are working in the nut industry. Is nuts actually healthier?
everything in moderation. And if you eat that in moderation, it's definitely healthy.
Yeah.
Healthy. It's healthy if you eat it in moderation.
It is healthy, not just healthier than the normal
It's
snack.
generally healthy. Of course, you don't go for the deep fried stuff. If you go for the naturally baked stuff, you know, not too heavily flavored,
Uh-huh.
right? Then generally it's considered a healthy snack.
Really?
Almonds, cashews,
Oh, okay.
right? You know, and I because it was quite a novelty shop, we sell nuts that many people have never even heard of.
Like what?
You know, Brazil nuts.
Brazil nuts?
Yeah.
Why want to eat Brazil nut? What's so special?
I think nutritionally it's
Is it better?
it is.
Really?
Yeah. And
So
then
you bring it from Brazil?
Of course,
As in
I
your-
wrote off the back of my ex
So
company lah.
your ex company,
They already sell all this, everything.
they brought the nuts from Brazil.
Of course,
Is this a gimmick?
it's not gimmick.
Like, do they make the nuts themselves and then they call it Brazilian nuts? Or
Dude, you have to grow the nut in Brazil.
oh, okay.
Right. But of course, there are a few other places that do grow the nuts lah. But somehow for some reason called Brazil nuts. You know, there's a lot of other things lah. You know,
Okay.
and you know, macadamia is not so commonly known.
Okay, macadamia is not commonly known. It is, but
Generally, when you ask people about nuts, people don't really think of macadamia nuts.
why
It's
do
a very
they-
expensive nut, but
Oh, it
one
is
of the
very
most
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then pine nuts, very expensive.
Well, is it healthy?
Well, again, in moderation, yes.
Ah. So is potato chip in moderation healthy?
I doubt so.
Okay.
Right. So everything lah. So including some dried fruits. And so okay, I mean enough about the details. But that so the IMM one didn't do well. Lost a lot of money.
Did you close it down?
Yeah, close it down. Well, sort of very abruptly,
Abruptly. So you 着落
something like that.
then you owe the deposit. You just
Just forfeit deposit lor.
forfeit.
I mean, we already forfeit about 3 plus 1, something like that.
wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of
That's
money.
a lot.
How
of
much is the
money.
monthly rental?
The monthly rental for that kiosk, which was about 120 over square feet.
Let me guess. 5K.
Another guess?
Higher or lower?
Higher.
8K?
About there.
Got GTO?
Yeah, 1% GTO.
Wow.
So net we are paying right around 8 plus lah.
Wow.
Yes. So for food kiosks, it's actually a very, very PSF, one of the high, is crazily high. It's insanely high. If you are at a very good location, like example, in front of the food court,
I know you can go up to like $300 per square feet.
yeah, for certain places lah, certain
Yeah.
places.
Like you know
It
the
is
one
insane.
at Faiz Plaza?
The Old Chang-Kee, right? Yeah,
that
it's
one is about
crazy.
$300.
It's crazy. That one, the rentals,
Crazy.
6-figure a month is easy lah.
Yeah.
Easy. But of course, again, even if we give you a very good location, if you are selling the wrong products, wrong
Yeah.
business, it might not work.
But Singaporean is not a very nut snack kind of.
Well, you'll be surprised.
Really?
You'll be surprised.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. That's interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
So, well, that was that.
Wait, do
Lost a
you
lot of
spend
money.
there and sell the nut or you hire people?
Of course, both.
Oh.
Both. Right at the start, right, you have to do all hands on deck.
Oh, okay.
Right. So, in fact, I engaged Darren. Darren and his wife both.
Huh?
Darren being my older brother. Yeah, both of them.
Darren stood
Yeah.
there and helped you to
Of course.
sell nuts?
Of course, on the weekends, even my mom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, everybody, all hands on deck.
Wow, okay.
My wife. So basically, my whole family also lah.
Okay.
Anyone lah.
Okay,
so
okay.
so yeah.
So you paid Darren?
Well,
Or he just helped you out of goodwill?
It's like whatever the profit was, he just had a share of it lah.
Okay.
But of course, one lost money, one wasn't earning that much. It was always profitable from the start till the end. It was always profitable.
Bedok one, is it?
Yeah.
Bedok is profitable, IMM not profitable.
IMM I closed down in a few months,
Oh, okay.
right? And then Bedok one, I think we went on to do 2 years,
Mm.
right? 2 years, completed the lease and everything, but it wasn't substantial enough because, again, I started both businesses concurrently.
Mm.
So the box shop business already took off, doing very well, earning a lot of money. I had to put a lot of focus in there, expanding the business at the same time. So I decided, you know what, let's just call it a day lah.
For the nut?
For the nut shop.
Okay.
So,
Then your boss upset?
of course not,
Okay.
right? I mean,
I mean, she
why-
believed you could do it and then she
Yes.
supported you.
yeah, but of course she understands that, now I'm already running another business which
Okay.
is taking up most of my time.
Mm.
Not a good idea to lose your focus.
Mm.
So I focus on that.
Mm.
Expanded.
Mm.
Well, did pretty well.
Mm.
Got a little bit too ambitious, so I started investing and started trying to expand
Invest
a
what?
little too fast. Started investing in my office. Remember my office?
Yeah.
And then, by the way, filling an office up with stock because it was an office cum warehouse is a lot of money.
Okay.
So didn't expect that. I didn't really take guidance from anyone. Didn't really have a mentor, so I just learn as I go.
Mm.
So I got an office, got my second outlet first, then got my office, my second outlet again at Jurong.
The box.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was at J Cube lah,
Okay.
the place with the ice skating rink.
Okay.
And then got my office, and then Carousel started doing having a presence.
So you mean before that there was no carousel?
I think there was, but no one was using it.
Okay.
But as we went along,
Okay. So you say carousel killed your business?
definitely one of the sources.
Really?
Definitely.
I thought
And
carousel
also-
would boost.
But the thing is, I wasn't on Carousel as a seller yet.
Why?
Because I was on Lazada, I was on Q10, and
Q10 is dead.
oh no,
Q10 is dead.
you're wrong.
Q10 is not dead.
In 2014, 2015, you only survive on Q10.
No, now I'm talking about now.
Now I do not know.
Okay.
But back then, Q10 was the place to be.
Okay.
Right? Lazada was just want to be there.
Okay.
I can't remember if Shopee
I remember
was
Q10
was there
very
already.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, and then started my own website, with the shopping cart function and everything.
You have a website?
Yes.
I didn't know.
So the thing about e-commerce is that the thing about every new industry is that the pioneers always have to learn the hard way,
Okay.
right? Getting your stuff listed, setting up an e-commerce shop is actually a lot harder than people think.
Okay, fair enough.
Right. Number one, we are not like a product that sells a known branded product. We sell whatever is trending. We sell whatever is interesting and fun. So it's ever changing. And I had hundreds and hundreds of SKUs, different products. So imagine if I want to sell an iPhone cable. Right. There's 1 meter, 1.5 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to list them individually. You have to take pictures of them. Imagine iPhone case. You have one model. One model has 20 colors.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the amount of work that we had to try to do to set it up.
Yeah.
Right? So we had to hire people.
What's the name of the shop?
It's Darcube.
Darcube.
Yeah.
So Darcube has a website.
Darcube has a website, but it wasn't an e-commerce website. The e-commerce website, I forgot the name of it, but to sell something, it's a different concept.
Yeah.
Right, so I was importing a lot of stuff, so I flew to China very often. Back then, online buying online in bulk from China was not existent. In fact, every time me and Steph went over to China, we had to carry bags of cash,
Oh wow.
and there's no other way to transact other than cash,
Oh wow.
because the banking system in China back then also was very hard to navigate.
Okay.
So we had to bring bags of cash. We had to fly over with bags of cash and hand your cash over to vendors that you do not even know if they will take your money and just run. So you just do it that way.
Oh.
And then you tell them, my logistics company is, so and so. Their warehouse is here, and then just ship it to them. I have an account with them. So just do it that way. So, well, I was still doing well. Again, running on business, it comes with a lot of unforeseen self-imposed hurdles.
Okay.
If your business is doing well, naturally you want to expand. Naturally you want to earn more money, right? But in the midst of that, running a business, the most important thing of running a business is not profitability. It is
sustainability.
It's cash flow.
Cash flow.
Cash flow is king in a business. You
Okay.
have to have cash flow.
Got it.
And I had an accountant. I hired an accountant. Every quarter, my accountant will be on my ass for money. Like, where's your money? Where's your money? I don't know. It's like, do you know you are very profitable? Do you know you are earning this amount every month? But I don't know where my money is.
Okay.
I was so broke there was a period of time I was so broke, and I rented a house with staff back then, that we had to stay at home literally and eat cup noodles, instant noodles, and this kind of nonsense for almost 6 months.
Wow.
It was that bad. A nice Western meal at a coffee shop, right, is a treat.
Wow. Okay.
And during the 6 months, that year, I think that year was 2016, I was very profitable. It was more money than I ever imagined I would ever see in my life.
And the money.
But I was broke.
Okay.
I do not even, until today, I do not even know why.
How about you today? Okay.
So, of course, I did identify a few areas. Like, remember when I was investing in the men's grooming products? Yeah, so that took a huge chunk of money. How do you guess just on men's grooming products, how much I had to invest in just goods alone?
I would say it might be like 80 grand.
It's 200 over 1,000.
200,000.
200 over 1,000, and you couldn't even see. It wasn't even that much, right? You come to my office all the time.
Yeah.
It was just that one rack.
Yeah.
200 over K.
Oh wow.
It's ridiculous.
Wow.
So these kind of things killed me.
But it sold very well.
Yeah. I was those products were doing very well, but the margin is very thin. It's razor thin.
Okay.
Razor thin. So so eventually I expanded again when got my third outlet. Got my shit together, got my cash flow a bit better. Decided to take a break on the expansion to let my pocket recover, my bank account recover. In the midst of that, unfortunately, we started seeing people walk into our shops with Carousel app open, comparing the prices.
Oh, that's very normal.
Right? But back then, it was the first. Back then, it was unheard of. And many of these
what were they buying? What are they trying to compare?
Everything.
So everything they want to compare. Even iPhone cable they want to compare.
Everything.
Even,
and I have to sell. I have to make a profit because I have to provide warranty.
Yeah.
And I have a physical shop for people to come, banging the table.
Yeah.
So I have to charge a certain amount of premium.
Yeah.
And then they go to like a random online Carousel seller who sells, this iPhone cable is people only selling $350. Why are you selling $8 or $10? So I explain but that's the kind of
but they don't
struggles.
Buy it.
Well, most of them still do because most of them realize
they would pay you $8.
Yeah, because most of them do realize that back then these kind of handphone accessories also were very not well made.
I remember the iPhone, if you buy the wrong one, then you cannot charge, right?
Exactly.
But now all can really.
Exactly. But of course, times have changed. So back then, every time the iOS software update,
yes.
your
Then the iPhone cable, yes.
So that was a good thing for us and a bad thing for us. Good thing being if we buy a good quality one with whatever chip inside, it will last longer. You can use it after the update.
Yeah.
However, the cost was a lot higher. But of course,
Yeah.
people had to keep on buying new cables.
Yeah.
So we were thriving on that.
Okay. Cables?
Cables, accessories, handphone accessories made up 50% of my
Are
revenue.
you serious?
50% of my revenues.
Wow.
I had to invest hundreds of thousands into handphone accessories.
Wow.
And I had one very major shock.
Uh,
There was one occasion where Samsung Galaxy Note 4,
Note 4 is a million years ago.
I think the battery exploded or something.
Oh yes, yes,
and
I
there was a
remember.
huge recall.
Huge recall, I remember,
Right?
yeah. Yeah.
I almost died.
Why then?
Because it was new. We all the retail shops want to be first to stock that item.
So you bought all the casing.
So we bought a lot of casing, a lot of cable, a lot of screen protectors,
Oh yes.
and we bought a lot of other random accessories to support that. Wow,
Yeah.
it's a whole lot of money down the drain.
Oh, I remember. Like you cannot even bring it up on the plane.
Exactly. Yes, that was the one.
Oh, I didn't know. Like there's such a big ripple effect.
And a lot of people don't realize that. So small business owners like us, one little thing like that can cause quite a big dent. Although it wasn't a lot. I think if I'm not wrong, I lost 30 grand on that.
Okay, it's quite a lot.
I mean, some people will think 30 grand, but for a startup with not a very good cash flow, 30 grand down the drain is quite a big impact.
It's a lot. So, wow. So you never recovered from that.
Mm,
And I'm talking about the products that you bought, right? It's just gone.
gone.
Damn.
And
Damn.
if I'm not wrong, they redesigned the whole Note 4.
Oh man.
So we couldn't use the
Oh
the old
man.
products.
Okay.
So eventually I set up my third outlet. I went into a joint venture with one of friend. Used to do a bit of business with him. Seemed to be a really nice guy, really good guy. He was lah.
He
Right.
was.
So what happened was that we went to a joint venture, and during that time I sort of had an inkling that the retail market was going to take a dive.
Oh.
So I decided to let him buy me out.
Which was the point? I remember there was a very distinct point where retail just died.
2017.
Why? Was it Carousel?
2017 was when the e-commerce giants really came in. I think 2017
Oh,
2018 period was when
yes.
Alibaba bought over Lazada,
Oh yeah.
and then Carousel had funding.
then like places
Shopee
like all
came
the
up.
Marina Square just died.
Died.
Suntec City just
Yes.
died.
Even the big players died.
Yeah.
So because of all that, I had an inkling that I was going to be affected.
Yeah.
Of course, thankfully, because I was at Next,
Uh.
the human traffic was still very, very strong.
Yeah.
So I was affected, but could survive, right? And my third outlet was at Campus. Back then, it was called Campus Point. Also very strong traffic. Still doing very well.
Okay.
So because I had a foresaw that I was going to take a hit. I decided to let my partner buy me out because he had an even bigger business in the same industry and he had the cash. So I agreed.
Okay.
But because he had cash flow issues and I understood, right? Because I'm also
So you let him owe you,
I let him owe me a huge part of it.
and then
Or like
and
half
he
of
never
it.
paid.
So what happened was that after he took over the business, he decided to go on a rampage.
Yeah.
To take advantage of all the businesses closing down and then take over their shops too quickly, against my advice. I told him, I said, I advised him very strongly against doing it. And also because he still owed me a lot of money, right? So of course he didn't heed my advice, and then I think within less than a year he went bankrupt.
Bankrupt. So you didn't get back anything.
He still owes me a lot of money.
Still.
Still.
So like your nut and the box business, total in and out. Are you on a net loss or net profit?
Of course net profit lah.
That means after
Even after
everything,
everything.
even after everything.
Even after everything.
How many years was that? The whole thing?
5,
5 years.
4, 5 around about there.
4 to 5 years. Would you say that your net profit every year got 200-300?
More than that.
So you're telling me?
Okay, technically,
Mm.
let's just put it this way. I could have been a millionaire right around 27, 28.
27.
Actually, of course, I
What
can't
do you
really
mean
say
could
that.
have?
I can't really say that because I did have to learn along the way, right? So I paid a lot of tuition fees.
No, let's talk about, like I said, right, offsetting all your net loss. and plus your net gains. We talk about your 3
If
years
everybody,
as a business.
if
3
4
years,
years at
right?
the business,
4 years in this
four,
business.
4, 5 years.
How much did you get out of it net?
Millionaire.
A million. No, I'm talking about.
Millionaire.
No.
If everybody paid me what they owe me,
No,
millionaire.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about the hypotheticals. I'm talking about actually those people who went bangga who didn't pay you. Let's just write it off. How much was it like net gain or net loss?
Net gain lah, of course net gain.
Yeah lah, so net gain how much lah?
Not that much lah, not that significant lah, but
So every year got 200,000-300,000 have?
as the business, definitely, of course.
Okay, not as the business. I'm talking about offsetting those bad debts and everything.
No, the business was profiting,
Ah.
right? Even after the bad debts.
Mm.
It was still a few 100,000.
Wow.
But again, I don't know where the money went. Of course, after the I sold out the business, people owe me money. I still decided to,
Mm.
let's look for the next opportunity.
Mm.
Let's try. And then, of course, again, right, you see, my first business ever started was successful. Second business, somewhat successful.
Mm.
So my head, grew very, very big. Bigger than for my own good.
Okay.
So I just decided to try out a lot of
What do you try?
things. Don't really want to talk about it.
Oh, okay. The one that I know.
And a couple of other, but all of them didn't
But
work
those
out.
one businesses, what?
Well, in a way, yes. I still had to invest
It
a lot
is?
of money, and it was a business, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
so
Mm.
that was that,
Mm.
and took a break for a year, 1 to 2 years.
Then you went back to work, right?
Yeah, I went back to work. So I decided, enough was enough. Because back then, along the way I got married.
Yeah.
Along the way I had my son.
Yeah.
So
Cannot take risks.
correct. My risk,
Appetite shrunk.
really shrunk, and everything I did used to be, all or nothing, double or nothing, triple or nothing.
Yeah.
Right now I can't do that anymore. Right, and then I bought my house and everything,
Yeah.
and then life literally slapped me awake. Like, hey, it isn't really as easy as it seems.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. During the 4 years running the business, right? Would you say that you've thrown that 4 years away?
No. I have learned over those 4-5 years probably what most regular employed people
We'll never know.
will never have learned.
Okay.
Not even till their 50s,
Okay.
60s.
So let's not talk about what you've learned. Let's talk about would you say that you've worked for free? Because you don't see money. It was profitable, but you don't see money. So those 4 years were good times. You spent, you had profits,
Yeah.
but at the end of it, you see nothing. You're zero, back to square one. Is that right to say?
But I got experience.
No, that's why I said disregarding what you've learned. Like for example, right? If during the 4 years, right, instead of enjoying, you bought maybe a lot of Rolexes, you bought a house, right? The money would still be there.
Correct.
But because you is either your lifestyle went up, you spent it, or so on and so forth. The 4 years you went in, you learned this and that, but you came out 4 years ground zero again. Is that right? to say?
Actually, no. I came out fine.
You came out fine.
I came out fine.
So you had savings and everything.
Quite a lot.
Oh, okay, that's
But
great.
it was the decisions after. It was the
after your head got big.
yes. It was the ego that killed me.
The ego.
The fact that I thought,
you're invincible.
correct.
You thought anything you touch will turn to gold.
Not that, but I thought that I was capable enough to, turn a not so profitable business around.
This
Right.
reminded me of Shima. You don't want to buy Shima.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that was a different thing. I already told you guys the 99.9% lose money thing.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah lor. So I went back to work. Swallowed all my pride.
But honestly, just now we're talking about it, right? You see, so would you just sum it up, right? What do you think this 4 years? What was the cause of your failure? Was it ego? pride?
The cause of my failure.
Yeah. The main.
I actually didn't fail.
You didn't fail.
Like I told you, I got out of it pretty good.
Okay. Okay, so it was after that.
Correct.
So after that, what was the cause of it?
No financial discipline.
So financial discipline.
Correct.
Is
And also no, not enough life experience.
But the thing is, right? You weren't spending what?
It would seem that way lah.
You weren't spending, right? What were you doing with the money? Like you weren't spending, right? What were you doing, honestly?
I was. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, I know for a
I
fact
don't
you-
lead a very extravagant life.
Exactly.
But things add up.
Like what?
Dude,
Like what? What you every day even you eat Western in the coffee shop? How much can it add up? 1,000 a month?
when I was doing very well, when I still had a lot of money, every meal was at a restaurant. Every meal.
How does that add up to a lot? That doesn't add up to a lot.
Every meal at a restaurant was thousands a month.
Thousands a month is alright, isn't it?
If you let
A
that go
month,
for
eh?
1 to 2 years, it adds up.
Okay.
And then I was changing cars every year.
Okay.
I was buying this and that. I didn't really think about the little things like 500, 500 only. 1,000, 1,000 only. It adds up.
Oh really?
And I started renting very early on in life.
Mm.
23, 24. Remember, my grandma had cancer,
Okay.
had to take my room in my
Okay,
mom's house.
okay.
So I moved out. So the rent actually added up a lot.
Mm.
And like you said lah, as you earn more money, you want a better lifestyle. So from renting a from a common room in a HDB, become master bedroom, become renting the whole unit, become renting a condo. So yeah lah, I took that route lah. So no
Okay.
financial discipline, not enough life experience.
So actually, right, earning money is not enough. You need to learn how to spend it wisely,
Correct.
invest it wisely.
Correct.
So it's also an art. The art
Managing
of
your
keeping money.
finances is, and I'm not even talking about what those financial advisors teach you, right? All the airy-fairy things, all the invest in this, invest in that. Financial discipline also requires a lot of foresight, requires a lot of biting the bullet now and enjoying the rewards later. Like a lot of, like you would have seen, right? I only recently got back a little bit of money from when I started investing when I was 23. How many people started investing when they were 23?
No.
And if my mom didn't force me to invest, when I was started investing 23, 24, I would never have lah.
No, but just now you were saying what? You only started recently what getting money what?
I started getting small sums of money here and there from
the
selling off my
investments.
investments and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that kind of saved my ass.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah lor. So then I swallowed my pride, went to look for a job, and I'm where I am at today lor.
Okay. I don't know because I lost touch with how it's like working. I guess you too, right?
It was the transition period was very tough.
Why? Because suddenly you have a regime.
Number one, the regime.
Yeah.
In the first job that I got, right out of that situation, it was a small company, sort of like a startup, but
You still there, what?
no. There was another job. Remember the production house?
Oh yeah.
So, there were a lot of restrictions. And as the boss of a company, I just left being a boss, right? You have that
Ego.
yes. So yes, ego.
Oh man.
And also when you see things that you don't agree with that the boss is doing, it being a startup and being a very small company, it is very hard to just swallow all your pride, swallow everything, and just do it.
Okay, I get it.
So that was one. But of course, I still did okay. And very unfortunately, COVID sort of hit. And that company...
Close down?
It didn't close down, but it really downsized. Basically, the boss went back to a one-man show.
Okay.
So very poor thing. He was actually
Okay.
doing okay, doing quite well. So I moved on to my next job, which is my current job,
Okay.
in biotech space.
I think it's going to be huge, man. It's going to be huge.
It is the future.
It is the future.
It'll take a long time to to have mass adoption.
So would you say that do you like your current lifestyle right now as compared to during the 4 years when you were running the business?
There are some significant differences, pros and cons, I would say. Of course, I'm very lucky to be in this company because on paper, right, my resume is not very impressive. I only have a diploma. I only had 5 years of working experience, technically, right? It is very hard to justify any managerial position.
But you are.
So what I did was that I entered this company knowing that I could not ask for a managerial position or salary. So I went into this company accepting an entry-level salary, entry-level position, contingent that my performance has to be reviewed periodically, pretty frequently, to get a revision in salary lah.
Okay.
So very, very fortunately, very luckily, my current boss actually values the soft skills that I've acquired. He values personal experience lah, like the job experience, operational experience, executing experience, and yeah lor, so
is it good? Is it good right now?
Quite happy where I am.
Quite happy, right?
Salary is fine.
So it's quite like clear that as you move on in life and your priorities change, your situation change, the things you go for is also different, right?
Very different.
Like even right now, if you give you a very potentially profitable business, but requires you to take a risk, but because of your current family situation, it's probably not going to give you as much happiness as getting a stable, relatively good enough income.
To me now, right, because I've already achieved a certain level of
climbing the ladder.
Like I've found my footing here in this company, right? So the Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
The first level somewhat in terms of salary is sort of covered. So I think the most important thing now is that I actually do believe fully in the direction of this business. I believe there is an industry where biotech it is never going to die. Right? Human therapeutics, biotech, improving lives through science. Literally, that's the motto of the slogan of our company.
Improving life through science.
Correct.
Oh, wow.
So, and I see what they're doing, right? And I absolutely believe in it. Which is why, even though I wouldn't say my pay is great, but it could be better. But I really do believe that I find meaning actually in work. And as you know, I spend long hours at work.
Yeah.
But just yesterday I left work at 12 midnight. Start at 8:30, you should left at 12 midnight. Rarely will you find, employees willing to do that, right, in any normal company. But all my entire team, all of us stay till midnight on our own accord. We are not even paid OT. That's because we do actually believe in the project that we're working on. And we want it to be a success.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I think really there's nothing better than doing what you really believe and love. Really, really. Like what you're passionate about.
Okay, I don't love it. Although I do believe in it, I don't love it. And also, well, it's not my business, right? So again, I do know that end of the day I'm still going to draw a salary, but there's this sense of satisfaction, right? And I know that what we're doing is actually revolutionary. It will change the world. It already is. Like right now, I think the space that we're in is actually, I think as of last year and this year, is one of the most invested in spaces.
Space?
Yeah.
What space?
So
Outer space?
the biotech, but specifically we are working on
Food.
Cellular agriculture, so basically cultivated meat. Right, this space is now getting saturated.
It is. It will be.
Yes, but it's multi-billion dollars of investment. So I face clients, I face potential clients. I know this space is growing. I know how much money is being poured into it, and I see the things that we're doing. I know it makes sense. We're getting better at it. We're getting more efficient. We're getting closer lah. It'll probably take more than a decade, but we're getting closer.
We'll still be alive by then.
Yeah, within our lifetimes for sure.
Oh wow, we'll
For
be
sure.
eating cultured meat. So we don't have to
Yes.
kill animals anymore.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
And we don't have to have farms and all the ethical issues about
It's all gone.
industrial farming.
Hey,
all
do you
gone.
know, right? I was just thinking that day, right? Like, let's say if we like in the next decade we start eating like that kind of food, right? So
Mhm.
there's no pollution and whatsoever,
Mhm,
and then we start driving EVs,
mhm.
and then there's no pollution again.
Yes.
Does that mean that like the Earth is gonna be like restored somewhat to a? I feel like like from a science point of view.
That's the general direction.
Mm.
That's what we hope
Mm.
will happen. Of course, there'll be a lot of resistance along the way, right? We are fighting the most established industries in the world,
Yeah.
right? Oil and gas.
Yeah.
There are trillions of dollars involved.
Yeah.
Meat
Yeah.
and farming in general
Yes.
is probably a multi-billion dollar market,
Yes.
right? So
So wow.
there's a lot of resistance, a lot of politics involved,
Mm.
but generally that's where we are moving towards.
Yeah, but just a fun fact. If all the cars starts becoming EV, right? Does that mean that if you live in a house near the expressway, you're not going to get any sound?
It'll be a lot quieter for sure.
A lot quieter, right?
Yeah, I think Singapore wants to eliminate petrol-powered vehicles by 2040. Yeah.
Oh.
Right. I think tough but doable. Especially we are Singaporeans. Government say what we do what lah, right?
That's true.
It's quite.
I was just riding the motorbike today, and then I was just thinking, if by whatever age, right, like motorcycle got no sound, no combustion, don't have the 2D smoke, the smell, like so weird.
Where's the joy in that, right?
Yeah.
I think we'll get used to it really fast.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, I think the perks of riding or driving an electric powered vehicle.
I think it's fun. I think it'll be bloody fun because it's fast, responsive, talky.
Yeah.
It's like very futuristic.
I think the main let's put cars aside.
Mm.
I think the main plus point for electric motorbikes in the future, what riders like us will lean. Why we will lean towards EVs because of the technology. I think safety will be
definitely super, 100%.
Super.
I do not.
I think we will give up that the rumble and the roar of the engine for the safety.
Wait. What? Like, okay, I agree safety, but can you elaborate? Like, why do you think it's safer, electric?
I think the technology that they are going to implement in motorbikes are going to be things like auto balancing, gyroscope. You won't fall. The traction control on bikes will be so precise that skidding will be taken out of the equation.
Okay. So all the random miscellaneous accidents that people get into will be.
Correct. Of course, human error, people bang into you.
Okay.
We cannot avoid lah.
Okay.
I think that is the main.
Yeah. I tried driving a Tesla the other day.
Yeah. I thought you bought a Tesla.
But it's not here yet. I drove Chai's Tesla. Oh my god! I tell you it. Do you know that the Tesla Model 3, the performance model,
it's crazy.
It's like
it's like 0 to 100 is like 2.9 or something.
It's like can find a Lamborghini.
Of course.
So it's like if you talk about.
But that's the Model 3
performance
upgrade. Yeah, the upgraded version.
It's about 220.
Yeah, but for 220k car to match the performance of a Lambo.
Yeah. Although it doesn't look like a sports or supercar, but it's
looks very underwhelming.
Looks so underwhelming. And let me tell you, a fun fact about driving a Tesla, right? It's like bumper car. You don't step on the brakes.
Yeah, because when you release, you auto brake to regenerate the.
Yes. Yeah. So it's only one pedal. You don't need to shift your brake and accelerator. It's just one pedal.
Yeah.
And it's just a very interesting feeling that you step.
But there's no brake pedal at all.
There is.
Yeah, but you don't really have to use it.
You don't have to use it because
so that's emergency situations.
Unless it's emergencies. So there's no wear and tear on the brakes. There is no motor.
It's minor wear and tear,
minor wear and tear. But there's no motor. There's
no engine. But
there's no engine. Yeah, there's no engine.
Yeah. So
front and back is boot, and when you get on the highway, it auto drives. Oh my god, the experience was crazy.
So that's technology for you, lah.
Technology.
So
the
again, whatever thing you're experiencing now in the EV, right? Is happening now in the biotech space.
Oh man, like
Right.
the food, the
And
culture.
just not only applicable to food, applicable to medicine, right? Applicable to all sorts of things that you would never even dream of.
Wow.
And the technologies that exist now are are out of this world. But right now it's so niche that it's not really commercial. You know that it's actually I might not be 100% correct, but I am very sure that there's actually a personalized vaccine for cancer.
So you can inject into a
Yes.
person and then it adapts to the person's.
So what you do is that you engage a company to do it for you if you're really rich. So they will draw samples from you and they will work on your DNA to produce a vaccine for you, specifically for you.
Wait, you're telling me cure for cancer?
It's not a cure, it's a vaccine. If you get it, they cannot cure it, but they can prevent it.
Prevent it.
Yes. And in China, for a period of time, many people were doing it. And it's a very niche market. It still exists today, to this day.
Okay, but honestly speaking, I mean, just like gossip, will it take off?
It already has taken off.
How? No. But think about it, right? Like you said, there's going to be resistance. What about all the pharma companies who are selling cancer-related products?
Because they are the ones funding it as well.
Oh.
They will have skin in the game.
Oh.
They will have skin in the game. It's just like
oil and gas
like
will have skin in the game in EV.
Exactly.
They have to.
It's like oil and gas is you still need oil and gas to charge your batteries.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, when this becomes a real threat, they will invest enough, then they have enough money to invest in it to become, again, the majority.
So they will just transit into that.
Correct. Correct. So once these, vaccines and cancer drugs and everything, progresses to a phase where, it's undeniable. Now, it is the next new thing.
Yeah.
They have so much money to just buy over. And you as a business owner, let's say you are a startup, you are the one that created this, cancer vaccine thing.
I want to get
$1 billion. I
want to get bought out.
Exactly.
I want to get bought out.
You want to get bought out and just shake your leg.
Yeah, man. Shake
Exactly.
all day.
So not everyone is like that,
Yeah.
but majority of the people are like that.
Shit.
So yeah, that's exactly what, every, technology company is experiencing now.
Wow, that's crazy.
But
That's so crazy.
that aside, being part of this revolutionary industry sort of opened my eyes to working for an organization. So I don't work in a startup. I mean, I'm in the startup unit of the company, but we actually belong to a very much larger group of companies. It's a group of companies now, right? It's a life science company. So I'm not that. I don't have that fear, right? That the company one day will run out of cash. They're not doing well. They go bankrupt. No, so I am in this advantageous position where I don't have to worry about whether my boss is broke, right? So it opened my eyes to see that you can actually find some. I wouldn't say find meaning in life, but there is that self-motivating factor. So where I got to where I am today as a holding a managerial position in this company, it's going to sound very cliche, but I literally had to fight and really, I would say, power my way through. Like the salary that I was drawing was really entry level. Literally, some local degree grads were getting higher salary than me, and I had to work so hard and work as smart as I could to prove myself in such a short period of 1 year to be able to demand that salary. I was working 12-hour days almost 3 times a week, 4 times a week, with no guarantee of remuneration.
Yeah.
I don't think many people will do that. And for the amount of salary I was getting, it's laughable, really laughable.
Yeah.
So I also sort of, now that recently I've got this promotion and this raise, treasure it a lot more. I really treasure it a lot more.
Which was kind of like the thing that we talked about in the first podcast episode, right? The happiest moments in life is usually the things that we fight for, we earn it, and then the reason that you don't have it, all of a sudden you have it. Like if it's there, it's constantly there, then it's no value. Like all of a sudden everybody wants to eat out. because the government changed the rule to 5 to 2. And then all of a sudden, restaurants are booked
Actually,
on the last day.
right, I have gotten so accustomed to eating in, and even at work, right, to tapaoing back to the office, right. I feel so weird now when I eat out. And also because I'm unvaccinated, right, so I cannot eat at restaurants. But when I go to coffee shops and hawker centers, right, wow, I cannot get used to it.
I can. I think it's
I feel so weird now.
I love to sit there and eat because I don't like to wait. I don't like. You can imagine you buy something so nice and you just want to eat, and then you got to drive back to your office. Then you can eat. I would just want to eat it right now.
But
the
hawker center, the hawker center beside my office now, Timber Plus, food isn't that great.
Timber Plus is good.
It
It's
really
so
is.
good. Hey, they got Guinness draft.
That is the bar. That's the alcohol, right?
Yeah,
You don't drink alcohol during work time. But generally, the food, right? The food that we like to eat, local food, wow, it's bad.
Oh yeah, they got Thai food. They got
They got everything. But firstly, it's overpriced. Secondly,
yeah, it's overpriced. I agree.
The standard of food there generally is quite low,
Oh, Timber Plus. I didn't know you were there. That's the launch pad, right? JTC
yes,
launch pad, right?
I would. Yeah.
You can walk over to the other side, the shopping mall.
The food courts are all air conditioned, so I cannot eat there.
You tapao lah.
You have to tapao lor.
Oh.
So I usually tapao. It's gotten to a point where a lot of my colleagues they'll be like, hey, let's go and eat lah. Then we are so accustomed to eating in that the default is tapao. So recently, right, there's this a few other people who usually dine out. Then they were just like, hey, let's go and eat lah. Then when I order tapao, then I see them eating there. They're like, hey, what you doing? Then I'm like, okay lor. Then I just eat the tapao food there. I feel so weird.
Oh, but I just love to eat there all the time. Like even let's say if I'm tapaoing 2 things, right, and the other one needs to wait, I will just open the first thing that I bought and I just eat it there. I like to eat it fast on the spot. Okay. Yeah, that was very good sharing. So so being employed is actually a good place for you right now because it gives you what stability.
Okay, there's this thing deep down inside me that
you feel like you're worth more.
Everybody feels like they're worth more. That's one thing that I've realized. As an employer and as an employee with colleague in a startup and in a big company like mine now, I realized that there's one thing in common. Everybody feels like they're worth more than what they're actually worth.
So everybody has a self-inflated image of themselves.
Correct. And because I have been an employer before, I always keep myself in check. I always make sure that I always ask myself this: if I'm the boss, would I be happy paying me this salary every month? So that's the way I keep myself in check. And there's this thing deep down inside me that after I started my own business, a couple of businesses before, and with all our friends around us, all being self-employed, one way or another, there's this what if?
What if you're self-employed, you can fly even more?
There's always this what if. There's always this what if. I always feel like I can do more.
Okay.
I can, and I sort of balance this out with knowing for a fact that I can do more for myself financially. It's sort of compensated by the fact that I'm in this industry now where I know I wouldn't make a dent in this industry if I started out. I would probably die. 99.999% I would die in this industry. So I take solace in the fact that, I probably, I'll try to contribute here, and I still always have this question mark. What if? What if?
Very interesting question that you ask yourself. But I can tell you, grass is always greener on the other side.
Yes.
Sometimes I wish my life was just regime. Like I don't have to think and just turn up and get paid every month. Yeah, it's.
But do you see? So now the difference between being self-employed and employed. When you're self-employed, when you work very hard, it is very
satisfying.
It is always satisfying, right? Because we are all working towards something for ourselves, financially, whatever.
Correct.
But it is a very self-centered sort of achievement. But when I'm working in a company, when I have a team, when I have a team around me, and some people don't contribute as much, but you still, do more than what you are supposed to do because you want everybody to achieve the same thing.
Correct.
You're gonna, you want to take one small win at a time to really win, right? This project to make it successful. That sort of self-worth is very different. It's very different.
I can imagine.
It's very different.
It's like you're doing it for something bigger than you.
Correct.
It's like you're doing it for cost.
The salary is very important.
Yeah.
But a lot of other things come into play.
Yeah.
A lot of other things come into play.
Yeah, so I guess there's satisfaction in that aspect as well. That definitely is. Likewise for self-employed, there is also satisfaction in a certain aspect. I guess it's just which one is more relevant to you at this point.
Yes.
At this point, honestly, I give you, like you say, your ex-Camel boss give you an opportunity. You dare to go? You don't dare to go. What? Exactly. You don't have to take
Probably
risks
not.
anymore. Ma.
I wouldn't say there or not there. It's just that
After you've
I mean,
come
after
so
I've
far,
come here,
exactly.
am I willing to give this up now?
Exactly.
And,
And
I've
start
only-
all over again.
Yes, correct. Start over again.
Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a question that we will never be able to answer lah. Because if I take that leap,
Mm.
I will always have again that question mark where I was
What
doing
if you
so
stay
well.
on?
What if I stay on
Yeah.
and I become a C-level executive?
Yeah. What's a C level?
C-level, so chief something, CEO, COO, CFO, CTO, CSO.
C level. I didn't know that. I
The
thought you want to buy a C class.
C-level executive.
Okay. I guess it's good. It's good. Hey, did we do a podcast last Friday? Was it last Friday?
Isn't this a continuation of
But was it last Friday? Was it exactly 1 week?
exactly 1
1
week?
week ago? Yeah. I remember 1 week ago we had the Maggi Goreng was so good.
Yeah.
Okay lah, but I guess today is about time. Alright.
Let's go and make Goreng again.
Okay, thanks. Okay, that's the end of the podcast.